Hi, I'm Ricardo Avila.
And I'm Greg Knight.
Greg and I would like to invite you to listen to our Once in a While podcast, the PC Music Diary.
That's right. Ricardo and I chat with each other about our favorite songs around a common theme, artist, or genre, and present our personal top 5 songs on the topic.
Now, this isn't just your standard music podcast, though. We also reflect on how the songs we choose weave their way into our lives.
Yeah, it's like you're literally reading our personal diaries through the lyrics of Morrissey, Prince, Whitney Houston, and Eddie Vedder.
Well, maybe not Eddie Vedder.
What do you mean? Like when he sings, that doesn't remind you of your first pet?
So listen to PC Music Diary in the Popping Collars feed.
I miss you, Fluffy.
What comes next is far from clear. Would you rather juice and
Hello, everyone. My name's Greg Knight, and I like watching, thinking about, and talking about movies. One of the great things about starting your own podcast is that there are some days where you actually get to talk to the creators of those movies, and this is one of those days. This month, I got the chance to interview Kate Beecroft, Portia Zuniga, and Tabitha Zuniga, the director and stars, respectively, of the film East of Wall. Letterboxd will tell you that after the death of her husband, Tabitha, a young, tattooed, rebellious horse trainer, wrestles with financial insecurity and unresolved grief while providing refuge for a group of wayward teenagers on her broken-down ranch in the Badlands. What I'll tell you is that we've been interviewing filmmakers for a while on this podcast, and I don't think I've been as caught up in a project as I was with this one. There are a lot of good things to say about East of Wall, not the least of which is that it is a beautiful stitching of real life and fiction, professional actors and amateurs, and it delves deeply into the tension that exists between emotional brokenness and the healing of found family. The word that best describes this movie is beautiful. From the interaction between horses and rider, to the landscape of the Dakota Badlands, to the grace that comes with opening your heart to young people in need. The forming of bonds also leaves scars, and what Kate has crafted with this film is what we need more of in our nation's movie theaters. A couple of quick bios before the interview. This is Kate Beecroft's directorial debut. Prior to making this film, Kate grew up in Los Angeles and graduated from the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama in London. And I'll tell you right now how good she is at this. East of Wall won the Audience Award at the Sundance Film Festival. Other directorial debuts that have won that award include Napoleon Dynamite, The Brothers McMullen, Quinceañera, Precious, Fruitvale Station, Whiplash, and Coda, which went on to win Best Picture at the Oscars. Now that's some pretty great company. Meanwhile, Tabitha Zuniga and her 18-year-old daughter, Portia, work a horse ranch just east of the town of Wall, hence the title for the movie, in South Dakota. They've made waves recently by showing their horses and lifestyle on social media, especially TikTok, building up a devoted following. So what happens when a vegan from LA who studied to perform Shakespeare meets a blended ranching family from South Dakota who compete in rodeo competitions on the weekend? Find out when I keep things under the stole with Kate Beecroft, Tabitha Zuniga, and Portia Zuniga. But first, here's the trailer.
You know what today is, right?
Yeah, I know what today is.
John, he taught me how to ride. I mean, really ride.
Portia! Get Portia! She's fast. Ow!
She knows everything about horses. She won't even try to ride anymore. Not since it happened.
Now she's got all these kids living out there.
Jesse!
Horses are worth a hell of a lot more than what you got for them.
But I got a lot of mouths to feed, so.
Well, I think she's a witch.
Gummer tells me you've been selling horses on TikTok or something?
But y'all ain't making the sales.
I want to buy this 3,000 acres.
You see me walk in, I came to win it all.
I can't figure out if he's stupid or not.
Let's go, ladies!
So you stole my pickup to steal city property.
We only picked him so we can practice for rodeo.
Ready for war, ready for a battle. I told the team, prepare the horses.
A reigning champion 3 years in a row. Porsche's Amiga.
Till I run the world.
Keep up the good work, Portia. I'll see you around.
Don't step on the necks of my girls.
I'll pay the tab
You
next
said that
week.
2 weeks ago.
Portia!
You're not living on this ranch because you have money. They're living here because of you.
I'm a winner and I'm fighting till my hands up. You can't defeat me, I'm different.
Take a look at your new horse.
Are you serious?
Go on.
You can't buy me.
I ain't stopping till I run the world. Don't try to stop me, I ain't stopping till I run.
You and I both know, without me, you'll lose that ranch.
Don't try to stop me, I ain't stopping till I run the world.
I do want to say, right out of the blocks, holy cow, what a movie. You guys should be so proud of yourself. This is really good. This is just really good. So kudos on this. Kate, I want to start with you. How did you find this story? What led you up here to this crew?
Yeah, well, I hadn't really directed really much of anything before, but it's what I wanted to do. And so me and my DP, we were on a road trip, just with a camera, just trying to find some like faces or spirits or energy or stories that we just wanted to capture for whether it be a short film or like maybe something to go back to for a music video one day, something like that. And we happened to be in South Dakota, and we took a wrong turn, and I found this woman, and I filmed her for a day, and then her daughter called me and said, "Hey, if you want a really amazing story, head east of Wall, and you'll find a woman named Tabitha." And that's all the information that I got. And I showed up, and I met Tabitha and her gang of incredibly fierce teenagers, feral and fierce teenagers, and I ended up living with them for 3 years before we started filming this, just to get to know them and to gain that trust. Yeah,
that's awesome. See, I love that because it's sort of the opposite of how we think of like big budget movies nowadays, where it's like they make the thing and then you try to adjust the story to it, and you like find the story and then make the movie from that. That's art. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a nonstop source of inspiration on their ranch. And just talking to these women, it's just, I could have made 100 million different kind of versions of this movie, especially with all those kids' storylines. And yeah.
I do wonder, when I was watching the movie, I was keeping in the back of my mind that this is your story, Tabitha, Portia, how much, like ratio wise, like how much would you say is, yeah, that's us, and how much is sort of this fictional narrative that was created for the movie?
Mainly the fictional aspect of it would be when Scoot McNairy plays Roy, and that part of the story is pretty much the fictional part. The rest of it's from stories that we've told Kate or she's experienced with us, or just part of our lives for the most part.
So like 80% real, 90%?
Yeah, 90%.
Wow. I do, so for you guys, for Tabitha and Portia, I was listening to an interview with another director recently, Eva Victor, who made the movie Sorry Baby, which is also sort of autobiographical about her life. And she was saying it's really weird, like going into interviews and people know everything about me and I don't know anything about them. And they're asking me like all these personal questions and stuff. Like, how has this been for you guys as you've like done Sundance and like the festival circuit of like talking about yourselves?
Good question.
Yeah, it's different. We're getting used to it, I guess. We're getting better at it, maybe. Not as awkward anymore.
Yeah. I mean, is it scary? Is it cool? What do you think?
It's a little bit of both, probably.
Yeah. How's it for you, Portia?
It's cool. A little scary talking to people, but
I can imagine so. I do have some horse questions for you guys. So I live down here in South Florida. So we have Wellington is like maybe like 10 minutes away out west of us, which is where like all the all the horse shows are like during the winter, polo grounds and stuff like that. I think that there's probably this thing about working with horses just sort of in normal life. And then there's probably a different aspect to filming horses. Like, did you find that there was a different kind of responsibility that was necessary in order to get a performance out of a horse? And like, what is the level of respect of working with the horses while they're on the set?
Well, I'm going to jump in on that one before Tabby does, because so all of the horses in this film are Tabby's real horses. There's no Hollywood horses in here. That was Tabby's real ranch. Majority of those horses are horses that she raised, or from kill pens that or horses that she rescued. So they're the horses that nobody wanted, that people threw away. And so Tabby is an amazing horse trainer. And when I needed a horse to do something like ride bridleless or rear up or what have you, Tabby would, on her off days say, how many days do you need until how many days is that being shot? And I was like, I don't know, like 3 days. She's like, okay, I can do it in 3 days. So she would train all the horses herself. And I really learned about how to shoot horses through Tabby, because she's amazing she's a director in her own right, because she loves shooting her horses and posting videos on TikTok with them in a really artistic way. And so I leaned on her a lot of like, how would you shoot this horse, or what's the best angle or whatnot. But the trust thing, these guys could speak to that.
Yeah, it takes a lot with a horse. We had to do a lot of different, like the boom, which, the sound piece. We had to do a lot of desensitizing with them to show them what all the equipment was and stuff. But there was some in the drone. The drone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If it takes a lot for a 1,200-pound flight animal to trust you with their life when they're up against something so scary, like a plastic boom or a drone. We have immense respect for our horses, and they do us too.
Yeah, there's this concept that goes with horses, probably an outdated concept of like breaking a horse, that's kind of like, so that you can ride or so that you can do all of this stuff. And the sense that I got from your interactions with the horses in the film was this idea of like drawing out the horse, like almost forming like a partnership with the horse. Is that like, how do you sort of think about your strategy when it comes to like working with a horse?
Well, it takes a lot of reading the horse, reading body language, understanding how they think. That's a big aspect of it. When me or Portia ever have something that's never been touched or wild, there's a lot of times we'll just, put its resources of food and water in one pen and we'll go sit in them. We'll go sit in its hay. You just sit there and you read for hours. You just sit there until that horse feels comfortable enough to come eat near you, get into your presence. You just let them make the decision to come up. And that's a big difference,
Mm-hmm. It's just, it feels almost symbiotic, the relationship. I mean, it's like, there's that one great scene where you finally get up on the horse, Tab, to like show it at the market. And it feels like a dance that you're performing with this animal. And it feels like you really have to have a real connection in order to be able to do something like that.
And you do, and that horse especially. Funny, just last week he was trying to buck my friend off. And I was like, no, he's not gonna do that. And then there he went. But me and him, or Portia and him, we have the best connection with that horse, Blue Duck. And somebody else goes to get on him and he acts like that. It's all in how much they love you and trust you. And if you try, you can make almost any horse love you if you do it right.
I love it. Portia, I'm looking at you. I'm like right across from me. I've got a novel over here called The Last Cowboys by John Branch, which is about like Wyoming rodeo culture and stuff like that. And like this idea of, if you don't place, you just have to get to the next rodeo so that you can make money and stuff. I'm curious, like when it comes to rodeo culture, like, are you all in, or is this sort of like something else you do in addition to what you do like on the ranch with the horses?
It's just a bonus. We don't go all over to do rodeo. We just go to little ones here and there.
But she always wins. She's always...
It costs a lot to go all over the country. And I mean, Everybody thinks, oh, that's just cowboy culture. They're, just dirty, gritty, cheap. No, that world is a high class, snobby. Like there's a fine line between, being able to and go around to those places.
Totally. Kate, I wanted to ask you, when it came to working on this movie, so were you thinking when you first got the story, like, well, Tabitha and Portia have to be in it, like there's no question, and then build from there? Or were you thinking about like doing the professional actors thing and it just like, I don't know if it's going to work, I probably need to have them in the movie?
Well, it was always going to be them. It was always going to be, without a doubt. I mean, at one point, of course, people will go up to you and be like, you could get a bigger budget if you cast Hollywood stars as them. They're such great characters. And I was like, absolutely not, because there's no faking what they're doing, Right. To be a rancher, that's, and especially on a generational, right? That's like passed down to you. That's in your body. That's in your hips, your hands, your face, everything, in your spirit. Like Tabby is the way that she is, with just like such immense, incredible grit because of what she has to do every day. That's the same with Portia. She's tough as nails in the best way possible, and that's because of what they do. And also that they were able to do their own like stunts throughout the movie is so incredible, because you don't really see that. But I've always loved, I love the mix of first time actors with professional actors. Like I saw a film called Rabbit Proof Fence. I love American Honey. I love Florida Project. I love that kind of that hybrid, because it's also so exciting to be able to introduce new talent into the world. And I feel like that is East of Wall is a perfect showcase for that.
Yeah, and to that end, it requires getting professional actors that are really generous, and are not looking to steal the spotlight. And Scoot McNairy and Jennifer Ely are like the perfect actors to get for this. I wonder, like, when you're crafting their performance, like, how do you guys work together on like making sure that the spotlight stays where you want it, which is this family, and isn't drawn away by these two like really amazing actors? Yeah,
that was a huge. It's that those two parts, there's a lot of pressure on them, right? So I was like, I need someone who I wanted Jennifer Ely because I knew she was the theater actress. And so someone who comes from a background of theater is good in ensemble pieces. They understand what it means to tell a story. And Jennifer Ely's character is based like cookie cutter exactly off of Tabitha's real mother.
Oh, it is? Okay. I was wondering. I was like, wow, what a character.
Look, like same outfit, same everything. I would just be sending videos of Tabitha's mom, Tracy, to Jennifer. I would, of her talking, of how she walked, of what, so she had material too. And I was always secretly taking photos of Tracy every time I would see her. I have so many photos of your mom, and send them over to Jennifer. And that's how I did it. And then with Scoot is such a chameleon.
He's so awesome.
He's so great, and he's such a smart actor. And he's an actor who he loves the story. He's there for the story. And if let's say you cast like a Leonardo DiCaprio in that role, the whole time you're just thinking, oh, it's Leonardo DiCaprio, and you would forget the actual story because casting was super, super important. And I really lucked out with just having the most generous,
there were so
people in Jennifer and Scoot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They're so good at sharing the screen. Like, I remember watching Jennifer. She was in like a Rose Glass movie a few years ago. I was like, oh my gosh, like she's doing such a good job, but not like suffocating the other actor, like really making sure that everybody's getting their time in this scene. It's really amazing. Yeah. To the story itself, though, I feel like a lot hinges on that Scoot McNairy character. And when he comes into the story, I remember watching this movie the first time. I was able to watch it a couple of times, like while I had the screener. And the first time I was watching, I was like, ooh, there's like a pivot point here where you could go soap opera style, with this story, or you could kind of keep it real. And I was so happy when you just kept it like, no, we're not going, high dramatics here. We're going like with the story that we have. Yeah. I'm wondering, when you're crafting the screenplay, were you ever tempted to make something, like to take this, character, like something more dramatic, or were you really looking to sort of pull it back in?
Yeah, I had other scenes that we cut that had that drama in it. But then when I looked back on them, even though they were a lot of those scenes that I cut did actually happen. They were things that have happened to Tabby, things that have happened to Portia, to the rest of the kids. I cut them out because I was just like, I don't know. It took away from Tabby and Portia. And to me, that was the most exciting thing. And it felt almost like my fingerprints were a little bit too much on those scenes as a director. And anytime I felt that, I wanted to take that away because it was taking away, even though it's real, the authenticity of them and their story. And that's also why, in a version of this, I totally could have put a Hollywood bow at the end of the story and had a, clear arc for every single one of these kids. But I didn't want to do that because they're still living that life. They're still in the same situation. They're still at that ranch. They still go back to that home every day. So who am I to put a Hollywood bow on one of these teenagers' stories? And be like, okay, well, this is what I hope for you, because I think that could really mess up somebody. So yeah, I wanted to just kind of make it more slice of life in a sense. Yeah.
I love that because victories don't have to be overwhelming. They can be small, they can be like hanging out, at the lake or wherever it is that you guys are swimming, or sharing a cigarette with grandma, it's like, these are, I thought it was great. I just thought it was a wonderful direction to take. And I honestly, I really did think that this was such a powerful film, and I hope a ton of people go see it. And yeah, I guess that's my last question for you before we sort of plug it, is like this idea of movie making nowadays and this tension between art and commerce, and like you want a movie to do well, I guess, but at the end of the day, like you also want a movie to be an expression of art, right? And so so I wonder, like, what are your hopes for this movie? That it like finds the audience that you want it to, or like, where do you hope that this movie goes?
I mean, I definitely hope that it does find the audience. It's a film full of empathy, and unfortunately, I think that we do live in a world where basically movies have become video games. They've become, amusement park rides. And so if you're more into that, then maybe this film isn't for you. But if you just, I go into a movie, I just want to feel something, and I want to feel something real. And I don't even have to put my finger on what I'm feeling, but as long as I leave something and I felt like, whoa, okay, I've gone through something with these characters, like that's all I want out of it as a director. I feel, we won the audience award at Sundance, and that was a huge, huge win for us. And that just really showed, okay, there are people who are connecting to these incredible women's stories. And, that's all you can really ask for as a director, is someone to relate to the product that you're putting out into the world.
Absolutely. Hear. What I would tell my audience is, take the risk. It's not even a risk. It's a wonderful story of like, go see East of Wall, and skip seeing Superman for the third time or whatever, and like go watch a real movie. Hey, Kate, Tab, Portia, thank you so much for your time. East of Wall is going to be in theaters.
August 15th, it'll be in theaters. Yep.
Excellent. So we'll find it at our local Cineplex. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.